What if I told you that the moment a woman starts catching feelings for you, you'll never hear it in her words. You'll see it in the way her soul reacts to you. Most men miss it completely. They look for obvious signs, for confessions, for validation. But the truth is, when a woman begins to care, her actions start whispering louder than any "I love you" ever could. You just have to know how to read the language of her energy. This isn't about flirting or games. This is about something deeper, something raw, something real. Because when a woman starts to fall, her entire world begins to shift around your presence. She'll start to notice things about you that even you overlook. She'll remember words you said months ago. She'll sense your emotions before you speak them. And yet, she'll try to hide it, to protect herself from the power of what she's feeling. That's where most men fail. They mistake her hesitation for disinterest, not realizing that love makes women careful, not cold. So in this video, I'm going to open your eyes to what really happens when a woman starts developing feelings. The psychological cues, the emotional patterns, the silent behaviors that reveal everything she's trying not to show. And once you understand this, you'll never be confused about a woman's emotions again. You'll see through the silence. You'll understand her distance. You'll recognize her care, even when she's trying to disguise it. Because the truth is, women don't fall through words. They fall through consistency, through presence, through how a man makes them feel when the world isn't watching. Stay till the end, and you'll start seeing what every man wishes he understood. But only a few ever do. You can always tell when a woman begins to feel something deeper. Not because she tells you, but because her attention shifts in a way that words could never capture. She starts to see you differently, not as just another person in her orbit, but as someone whose presence quietly begins to matter. And it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's subtle, almost invisible, but it's powerful, because when a woman starts to develop real feelings, her focus becomes her language. She begins to notice the smallest details, the tone of your voice when you're tired, the way you pause before saying something important, the silence between your words. She starts to remember the things you say in passing, things you might have forgotten the moment after you said them. That's not coincidence, that's emotional investment in motion. Her attention becomes selective. She tunes out noise and tunes into IVU. That's how feminine energy works. It doesn't announce itself. It observes, absorbs, and connects through subtle awareness. And this is where most men miss it. They think attraction is shown through words, compliments, or physical closeness. But for a woman, attraction begins in the Z mind. The moment she starts to think about you when you're not around, when she starts to replay conversations or analyze your reactions, she's already emotionally involved. It's not obsession. It's her way of understanding whether you are emotionally safe, whether she can trust the version of herself that shows up around you. Because when a woman likes a man, she's not just observing him. She's observing herself with him. She's noticing how she feels in your presence. Does she feel calm or anxious? Does she feel seen or invisible? Does she feel respected or replaceable? That inner dialogue is constant, and it tells her far more than your words ever could. Her focus becomes a mirror reflecting back the quality of your energy. If she feels safe, she opens. If she feels uncertain, she retreats. And the beauty of it is that she often doesn't even realize she's doing it. That's why the shift in her behavior can feel so natural. Suddenly, she's asking about your day, remembering your preferences, defending you when you're not around. She doesn't do these things consciously. They're simply extensions of care that rise from genuine emotion. Her empathy starts to attach itself to your well-being because her attention has already chosen you. But let's be honest, this level of emotional awareness doesn't happen for just anyone. A woman doesn't give that kind of energy to every man she meets. She does it when something about you intrigues her on a deeper level, When your words carry weight, when your actions reveal consistency, when your silence doesn't make her question her worth, that's when she leans in, not physically at first, but mentally and emotionally. And that's the beginning of real connection. It's not just about attraction, it's about resonance. When a woman develops feelings, her soul starts to recognize familiarity in your presence. She starts to feel that she can exhale around you, that she doesn't have to perform. And that's rare, because most of the world teaches women to stay guarded, to hide softness as if it's weakness. But when she starts focusing on you in this quiet, intentional way, she's already letting her guard down in ways she may not even understand. And that's the moment where your awareness as a man truly matters. Because what you do next determines everything. If you respond to her attention with arrogance or ego, she'll withdraw instantly. But if you match her energy with presence, with emotional steadiness, patience, and respect, you'll create a connection that goes beyond surface attraction. You'll make her feel seen, not watched, valued, not used. This is what separates boys from men. A boy craves attention. A man values understanding. When a woman gives you her focus, it's not a game, it's a gift. It's her unspoken way of saying, I see something in you that feels familiar to my soul. Don't take that lightly. Because once a woman begins to focus on you with that kind of emotional precision, she's already telling you everything you need to know. She doesn't need to confess her feelings. Her silence will say it. Her care will show it. Her energy will prove it. And if you're wise enough to notice it, to truly see it, you'll understand one of the rarest truths in human connection. It's never about what she says, it's about where her attention goes. Because that's where her heart already is. Attraction might catch her attention for a moment, but it's not what makes her stay. What keeps a woman's heart engaged isn't your looks, your charm, or the smoothness of your words, it's your consistency. That's where real feelings take root, because a woman doesn't fall for what excites her, she falls for what makes her feel safe. Emotional safety is the foundation of feminine affection. It's the space where trust begins to form, where she can finally relax and stop analyzing every word or action, because she senses something stable in your presence. And this is something most men never understand. They think women want excitement, but what women truly crave is certainty. Certainty that your words mean something. Certainty that your energy doesn't shift with every mood. Certainty that when she reaches out emotionally, you'll still be there, not as a savior, but as a steady anchor. Because women are naturally intuitive, they can sense inconsistency faster than you can explain it. The moment your actions stop matching your words, her instincts pull her back, not because she's cold, but because she's protecting her emotional integrity. When she sees consistency, her respect for you begins to grow, and respect is the soil where love actually begins. Without respect, affection fades. You can make her laugh, impress her, even attract her, but if she doesn't respect you, her feelings won't last. That's why the strongest relationships are built on admiration, not infatuation. She has to look at you and think, this man stands for something. Not a man who says the right things, but one whose actions embody them. Because when a woman develops feelings based on respect, it changes the entire dynamic. She's no longer chasing validation. She's drawn to your presence because it grounds her. She starts to trust your judgment, value your perspective, and open herself emotionally. And that's not something superficial, that's psychological alignment. She's subconsciously aligning her emotional world with your emotional stability. You become a reference point for how she measures calm, trust, and emotional security. But that's also where your responsibility as a man begins. If she starts to open up, and you treat that openness like a game, you damage something sacred. Because for a woman, developing feelings isn't casual, it's risky. She's allowing herself to feel in a world that constantly tells her not to. She's allowing vulnerability to exist where fear once lived. And the only reason she's doing that is because your consistency made her believe it was safe to feel. That's why your words matter, but your follow-through matters more. Women remember how you make them feel when they're uncertain. They pay attention to whether you stand by your principles when it's inconvenient. They notice how you treat people when no one's watching. That's where true attraction forms, in the quiet proof of your character. Because any man can impress a woman for a few weeks. Only a man with integrity can earn her respect over time. And when she respects you, her love becomes a choice, not a reaction. She doesn't just feel something, she decides to invest in you. And that's when everything changes. Because a woman who loves you from a place of respect will stand by you through storms. But a woman who only loves you from attraction will disappear the moment the excitement fades. Respect gives her something real to hold on to. So if you want to understand when a woman's feelings are genuine, don't listen to her words. Observe the shift in how she treats your consistency. When she starts to trust your stability more than her fears, when she stops testing and starts relaxing, that's when she's truly fallen. Not because you impressed her, but because you grounded her. And here's the truth most men ignore. Every woman you meet is subconsciously asking one silent question: can I trust his energy? If the answer is yes, she'll lean in. If the answer is no, she'll retreat no matter how much she's attracted to you. Because at the end of the day, it's not the spark that makes her stay. It's the safety that lets her breathe. And once a woman feels safe in your presence, attraction becomes devotion. So don't aim to excite her, aim to stabilize her world with your presence. Because excitement fades, but consistency, that's what makes her heart feel at home. When a woman begins to feel something real, she doesn't always know how to handle it. Her instinct isn't to express, it's to protect. So, often, the moment she realizes her emotions are deepening, she'll pull back. She'll go quiet. She'll test the distance, not because she's losing interest, but because she's trying to understand what's happening inside her. Love, for a woman, is not a casual emotion, it's a surrender of control. And surrendering in a world that constantly tells her to guard herself feels like a risk she has to calculate carefully. That's why her first reaction to real feelings is often confusion. She'll act like she doesn't care, she'll distract herself, she might even avoid you. But behind that resistance is fear. Fear of being seen too deeply, fear of caring more than you do, fear of reliving pain she once promised herself she'd never feel again. That's the paradox of feminine emotion. The closer she gets to love, the more she tries to protect herself from it. But if she still comes back, if despite the hesitation, she finds her way to your energy again, that's not confusion anymore, that's connection. She's not returning for validation, she's returning because her soul feels a sense of familiarity it can't explain. And when she begins to trust those feelings, her entire demeanor changes. You'll notice it in her tone. She speaks differently. Her words soften, her walls lower, her energy calms. She doesn't have to perform, she doesn't have to prove, she just is. That's when you know she's comfortable being seen. Because for a woman, vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the highest form of love she can offer. It means she feels safe enough to show you the side of her that the world doesn't get to see, the unfiltered emotions, the insecurities, the dreams she hides even from herself. That's her love language, emotional honesty. But this is where most men fail to understand her. They mistake that softness for dependence. They interpret vulnerability as a sign that she's falling too hard. And that's when ego gets in the way. The moment you take her openness as a game to win, she'll feel it instantly. And she'll close off in a way that can't be undone. Because once a woman feels that her vulnerability has been mishandled, she doesn't just walk away, she rewires the way she trusts. You don't lose her instantly. You lose access to the part of her that was real. And that part never returns once it's been disrespected. What many people don't realize is that a woman's vulnerability is a reflection of her trust, not her weakness. She's not opening up because she's desperate. She's doing it because, in her heart, she's chosen to believe you're worthy of seeing her without her armor. That's sacred. That's emotional courage. And if you're the kind of man who understands that, who treats her openness with gentleness, patience, and genuine care, you'll unlock a version of her that very few people ever get to see. When she feels safe, she doesn't just love you, she nurtures you. She becomes your peace, your reflection, your emotional balance. She'll start to protect your name, your energy, your purpose, without being asked. Because that's how feminine love expresses itself. It doesn't compete, it completes. It brings balance to the masculine energy that stands firm. Her softness is not meant to make you weak, it's meant to remind you of your depth. But here's what you must understand. Her vulnerability is not an invitation to take advantage. It's a responsibility to rise to her trust. When a woman gives you emotional transparency, she's handing you something far more valuable than affection. She's giving you her faith. The question is whether you're evolved enough to hold it. So when she pulls away, don't chase her. Stay steady. When she returns, don't question her. Be consistent. When she opens up, don't analyze her feelings. Receive them. Because her love won't come through perfect words or grand gestures. It'll come through her willingness to be real with you. And if you can understand that, you'll stop searching for signs and start recognizing truths. The truth that when a woman lets you see her softness, it's not weakness, it's trust. When she lets her guard down, it's not surrender, it's connection. Because in the end, her vulnerability isn't something to decode, it's something to honor. And if you can honor it, you won't just earn her love, you'll earn her loyalty, her peace, and the quiet kind of devotion that never has to be spoken to be understood.